Dear friends, welcome to final year BTech Petrochemical Engineering. This semester, I am going to teach special technology 5 subject, which covers multi-component distillation. These subjects required a knowledge of two-component distillation, which you are going to study in mass transfer subject. In multi-component distillation, we are going to start these subjects with unit number 2, where we are going to learn the interconversions of TBP, EFV and ASTM. These are the three characterization methods in petroleum distillation. Petroleum means petra plus oleum, that is crude oil distillation, which consists of number of fractions starting from methane, that is C1, to C72 plus, means more than 72 also. Sometimes it is available in the crude oil. These fractions we are going to separate out in petroleum refinery by way of atmospheric distillation and vacuum distillation units. To provide the data to the ADU, that is atmospheric distillation units, in the laboratory we have to characterize this crude oil by methods suggested by IP standards, IS standards or ASTM methods for TBP, ASTM and EFV. So how we are going to collect the data which we required to design this particular distillation unit ADU and VDU. So basically first you have to learn how the experimental procedure for these three distillation methods, we called it as characterization of the crude oil, that is experimental procedure for true boiling point TBP distillation, ASTM distillation laboratory method, EFV, that is equilibrium flash vaporization methods. After having the knowledge of these three distillation, how we are going to collect the experimental data, we are going to learn the interconversion of this ASTM, EFV and TBP by solving problems. So the knowledge of the experimental procedure is very, very important. So this lecture I am going to teach you regarding how we are going to collect the and what is the difference between these three distillation methods. First we are going to start with true boiling point distillation. In a petroleum refinery, this is the basic requirement that whatever the crude oil we are going to get from the oil wells, that we have to characterize this. For that, for how many fractions are available in the crude oil, that is in general we say that C1 to C74, 72 plus, but not necessary that in every crude oil we are going to get the kerosene, every crude oil we are going to get the gas oil. So how much percentage of this particular petroleum fractions are available in the respective crude oil, that we are going to know by way of this true boiling point distillation. This is the flask, this is the particular equipment available, this is the fractionation system, this is the flask. The container should be in the size of 2 liter to maximum we can consider up to 10 liter. If you are having the max 10 liter of the capacity, you are going to get the more quantity of the distillate which satisfies our testing properties. This particular flask is connected with the pack bed for the fractionation or to get the true boiling. That's why the name is given as true boiling point distillation. So whatever the vapors are going to come from this particular fraction, from this column, if you are having a 10 liter of the flask, generally you are going to consider 50% of the sample of the crude oil. That sample you are going to heat it and the vapors are going to travel in the upward direction through this pack bed column. Packings are provided. The number of packings or 15 plates generally we consider it. and we are going to note down the temperature here, top of the vapor temperature. That time we are going to collect the sample through the condenser which is provided, and this is the measuring cylinder where we are going to measure the quantity collected. Suppose you are going to measure the 100 ml sample. That time you are going to note down the temperature here, top temperature of the vapors. This data we are going to collect, which will be helpful for the designing of the or to decide the parameter for the ADU in the refinery. So before starting the refinery plant or atmospheric distillation unit in the plant, this particular laboratory data is supposed to come from the laboratory to the process plant, which will be helpful for the engineers, those who are working in the refinery. They can manage their operating conditions with this particular data. So this particular TBP apparatus consists of this is the flask equipped with or connected with the pack bed column, condenser. This condenser is whatever the vapors are coming, they are going to cool it here. We are going to collect the sample in the measuring cylinder. This extra arrangement is provided here. So this arrangement basically it is for, because this column is we are going to operate at atmospheric condition. So you can operate up to maximum 350 to 400 degrees centigrade, because what happens after 350 or 400 degrees centigrade, cracking is going to start. So to avoid that particular cracking process, this is very, very important here. To avoid the cracking process, we are going to operate this particular TBP apparatus at atmospheric condition, atmospheric pressure up to temperature of 350 to 400 degrees centigrade. And above that, if you are going to extract or distill the sample, then you are going to operate under vacuum of 10 mm of mercury. And at 10 mm of mercury, again you are going to collect the data here. And that 10 mm of the mercury, then we are going to correct it to the atmospheric pressure. And that data is plotted. That is the 10% collected against the temperature. So this is the whatever the curve you are going to get it, that curve is called as TBP curve. So generally this setup is available in our laboratory also. This is the manual setup we have prepared in our laboratory, but in the industry the cost of this particular setup is automatic one. After 100 ml the sample are going to test it for this one, that particular sample. Suppose you have collected the 100 ml. So where you are going to collect the next sample, so that is to be identified. Depending on that particular collected sample, you send it to test. For the testing of your sample, it is a kerosene, it is a petrol, it is a diesel, it is a gas oil. So testings are carried out for the respective sample, and that decides how many yield percentage of the kerosene is available, petrol is available, gas oil is available. So that primary data we are going to get it with this best equipment, best apparatus, that is called as the true boiling point. So as you are going to get the rectification is carried out in this column, vapors are going to enrich here. The very, very important point is when the vapors are formed here at this point, vapors are enriched. Enrichment of the vapors takes place, and depending upon that one, you are going to decide the column height here. So as you are going to get at the top the pure component, that pure component is condensed and collected as a products. So that's why the name is given as due to this enrichment of the vapor, the equipment is called as the true boiling point. As enrichment is carried out, as you have studied in the simple distillation process in the mass transfer, we are going to have the knowledge of the distillation. It consists of the reflux arrangement. So as this is a fractionating column, very long tube, packed bed. So there is no reflux is required because already you have done the rectification. So we are going to no need of the rectification or purified the particular fractions. So that's why this rectification column height, to decide that one, it is very, very important. So whatever the vapors are going to condense, that temperature you have to report it, and at that particular temperature how many quantity you have collected, that is also one of the important point in this particular apparatus. Another important point which you are going to note it down, that when you are going to operate this particular experiment, you have to note down that temperature of this particular sample which is connected to this flask, that is called a T1 thermometer T1 and thermometer T2. Try to maintain both the temperature at same temperature. This T2 is equal to T1. Then and then it is possible to maintain or to get this particular vapors enriched one. Otherwise what happens, there is the fractions available with from the another fractions. If you are going to separate out petrol, so there is a mixing of the another fraction, heavier fraction. To avoid that one, if you are going to maintain this T1 and T2, it is very difficult to maintain it. But in the automatic apparatus, in the refineries, if you are, whenever you are going to get the chance to visit this particular refinery, just go and visit to the laboratory. They are having the automatic distillation units everywhere in the refineries. In our laboratory also, we are manually performing this experiment. So that time we are facing the difficulty as to maintain the temperature of T1 and temperature of the vapor. This is the temperature of the crude oil, temperature of the vapor. So manually we are adjusting the heating rate. Very slowly we are going to start the heating. As we are going to start, slowly the vapors are going to come up. The vapor liquid traffics are here. To control that vapor liquid traffics, the controlling rate you have to maintain it. So slowly we have to maintain the temperature T1 and T2 both. So basically we are not exactly T1 is equal to T2, but we are in near about T1 approximately equal to T2. So that way in the laboratory you are going to collect the data for this one. So this is one of the important points you have to take care in performing the experiment. When you are going to perform the experiment, this is a glass apparatus. Some face shield is required when you are going to perform the experiment, because we don't know, we have to care about ourselves. So face shield as well as face shield required to the particular equipment also, because anytime some accidents happen, to avoid that accident, the crude oil, as you are going to heat it up to 350 or 400 degrees centigrade, whenever it blasts, you have to take care of that one. It should not come to our face. So because it is related to the face-to-face reading, we are going to take the temperatures here to take care of that one, to avoid the accidents. So face shield is very, very important. Apron is also important when you are going to handle the particular sample. In the manual experiments, you are going to perform the experiment when you are going to change the flask. 100 ml collected, 200 ml collected. So in general, we have thought that whenever the refractive index of the particular product is going to change, when RI we called it as, refractive index is the immediate testing. When the samples 100 ml collected, we are going to change the refractive index 1.4 to 1.56, whatever it is, more than 1. Refractive index of the distilled water is 1. So we are going to check the refractive index immediately with the help of the refractometer, and whenever we are going to observe the change in that particular refractive index, we are going to change the particular measuring cylinder, and that approximately decides the change of the fraction. That is, the petrol is going to stop and kerosene is going to start. The next fraction is going to start. So that way, refractive index is the basic preliminary thing we are going to adjust it in the. But in the refinery, they are having the automatic setup. They automatically get the temperature boiling ranges. So the crude oil, whatever you are going to add it in the particular steel, we are going to get the rough estimate data that how many fractions are available in a particular crude oil just by measuring the temperature and the quantity collected here. So another requirement, this I have explained you. So this is the general procedure I have noted down in the PPT. Yeah. This is the experimental procedure. The equipment size at least 2 liter stock. सुरू झालं का था? शुरू है का नहीं? ठीक. The steel where you are going to take the sample, that size at least minimum they consider as 2 liter stock per charge, but maximum you can take depending upon the design of that particular TBP apparatus. Large capacities, preferably as good amount of higher boiling stocks can be obtained for testing, because you have to test that particular sample. If you are going to have the maximum size, more components. Heat losses in salts are recovered by hot air circulation through the jacket surrounding the rectifier, that is the column what you have designed it. This ensures the minimum thermal losses. Top of rectifying is usually fitted with air-cooled reflux condenser, which also indicates the temperature of the fraction leaving for condenser system. The condensate collect into a cylinder, which is in fact connected to a vacuum producing device. The way I have told you, after 400 degrees centigrade, you have to switch for the 10 mm of the apply the vacuum. A sufficient displacement capacity of 0.2 to 0.5 cubic per meter of air or vapor is required for steel of 2 to 5 liter capacity. Steel means the where you are going to take the crude oil sample capacity for satisfactory operation. Distillate rate should be maintained at 1% distillate into minute for atmospheric operation and 1% in 3 to 5 minutes for vacuum operation. Depending upon the volume of that particular crude oil, 1% distillate per minute you are going to collect it at atmospheric operation. When you are going to apply for 10 mm or vacuum, then you have to apply for 3 to 5 minutes. Observations have realized that the rate of distillation in the beginning is very high, but decrease with increasing boiling point of stock. Number of cuts of 100 ml each are collected in carried flask for feed analysis and true boiling point curve. The necessity of vacuum distillation is mainly to prevent the thermal degradation of high boiling stages. This boiling point obtained under the exposure receiver would be corrected back to the normal pressure operation. Means after having 400 degrees centigrade, we are going to switch over to the 10 mm of mercury. That 10 mm Hg of the data again you are going to convert to the atmospheric pressure. The major application of this unit is to perform a distillation analysis of crude oil compound. This is very important apparatus. Everywhere in the refinery you are going to use it, and in our laboratory also. Every student has to perform the experiment. This particular experiment, minimum 1 week is required to complete this testing as well as to taking the data from the crude oil. Another characterization method of the distillation is the ASTM distillation. This distillation method is similar to the TBP, but this is a non-fractionating distillation. The TBP is a fractionating distillation because you are having a packed column, so number of plates the vapors are going to enrich it. Here what happens in ASTM, American Standard Testing Methods. The collection and plotting of the data are done in similar way as the TBP distillation. There is a wide difference in apparatus used and hence the mass transfer conditions provided. Mass transfer due to that rectification column. No attempt is made to have vapor liquid mass transfer and so the fractionation. The apparatus is in the form of simple distillation, condenser and a receiver. And whatever vapor liquid contact that takes place is in the neck of the flask due to natural condensation. There is the only extent of fractionation. The rate of distillation here is 8 ml per minute. For all practical purposes, this distillation is non-fractionation. TBP is the fractionation. ASTM is a non-fractionation because whenever the vapors form, immediately you are going to condense it. The method and all such methods are standardized by ASTM, IP, Institute of Petroleum London, IS Institute of. What is distillation? It is the process of separating the components or substances from a liquid mixture by using selective boiling and condensation. In industrial chemistry, it is a unit operation of practically universal importance, but it is a physical separation process, not a chemical reaction. What is ASTM distillation? It is a test method which covers the atmospheric distillation of petroleum product using a laboratory batch distillation unit. This atmospheric distillation is important here. to determine quantitatively the boiling range characteristics of such products as light and middle distillates, automotive spark ignition engine fuels, aviation turbine fuels. It is designed for the analysis of distillate fuels. It is not applicable to products containing appreciable quantities of the residual material. This is the setup of the ASTM, American Standard Testing Material. This consists of, generally we use this whenever you are going to get the samples from the outsiders, or maybe you can consider from the petrol pump. This particular ASTM distillation apparatus generally we use for the pure products. So if you are going to have that particular, this consists of flask, this is the condenser unit. The design is given by IP, Institute of London, or ASTM, we called it as the ASTM D86. The number is given by the ASTM, that is ASTM D86. As per the standard of the ASTM D86, they are given the nomenclature. What is the measuring cylinder height? What is the marking of that one? 10 ml, 20 ml, 30 ml. At what distance these markings are there? Then what is the angle of that particular condenser tube? This condenser tube is important. They say that you have to use only this condenser tube having the angle of this one. This is the having made of metal tank. This is the condenser unit, not a. In general, the simple distillation generally we use in the mass transfer, the glass condenser, but here they have used the metal condenser because we require the ice cooled water. We are going to heat the sample here. If you are going to consider the petrol, or if you are going to take a sample of diesel, generally petrol boils at 37 degrees centigrade. So the temperature we required less than that one. So we require the whatever the vapors you are going to get, that is at 37 degrees centigrade. To cool that particular vapors, we require the low temperature. So we are going to add the ice here. So this is the ice cooled bath. So that way the vapors are going to condense here and we are going to collect the sample. So every 10 ml we are going to measure the temperature here. When you are going to collect the 10 ml of the quantity, 20 ml of the quantity, 30 ml of the quantity, 50 ml, 90 ml, 95, at the last 95, 98, we are going to report the temperature. That only we required. Volume percent distilled, again the temperature, that is the vapor temperature we are going to measure. So we are not going to dip this thermometer. You have to take a precaution when you are going to perform it. We are measuring only the vapor temperature. So at the vapor neck only, this particular thermometer tip should be there, so that we are going to measure the temperature. Do not dip this particular to the crude oil sample, because we require the vapor temperatures. So to avoid the losses, we are having the two openings here, where we are going to connect this flask neck to the condenser, as well as the thermometer. We are going to dip it. These are the two openings we have to very clearly pack, so that we can avoid the losses. And we can maximum distillation is carried out here, 99, 98%, 97%. So this way we are going to, this is similar to the simple distillation, but the unit wise the standards are given. So when you perform the testing of the sample in Nagpur, if you are going to test it in the Delhi, if you are going to test in the Mumbai, the results will be the same, because whatever the apparatus available throughout the country, throughout the world, that is made up with this condition, with this particular dimensions suggested by the ASTM. So that's why everywhere we are going to use the similar fraction. If you are for the manufacturers or those who are going to sell these particular units, only you are supposed to give the number ASTM D86. If you say that we require the ASTM D86, so they know that we require with this particular dimension. There is no need to explain the dimensions here. So IP methods are available, ASTM methods are available in the standard books. These offices are also available. You are going to get these particular booklets separately also for the respective testing methods. Generally, whenever you are going to get the sample, suppose gasoline, petrol from the petrol pump, sometimes it happens we are going to get the samples in the laboratory to identify that anything the petrol pump persons are added or not. Dilutions are taken place. So we are going to identify depending upon the point. Suppose you consider that the boiling range of the gasoline is 37 to 140 degrees centigrade. If you are 37 means the initial boiling point. 140 is the final boiling point. Whenever the first drops comes here, that particular point is what we called it as initial boiling point, IBP. That is 37. Whenever you are going to get the last boiling point, that is 140 of for the gasoline, we called it as that is the final boiling point. If that boiling range is going to change, you are going to compare the diluted solution or diluted petrol with this particular standard boiling range. If you are not going to get 37 to 140, then we can say that some dilution is taken place in this particular sample, and how much percent of dilution takes place that we can identify with the help of this particular distillation method, ASTM. So that's why this is a very, very important method to check the purity of the samples like petrol, diesel, kerosene. Because gas oil, because we are performing at the atmospheric pressure. So, and the boiling ranges stands within that particular atmospheric conditions to avoid the cracking. Means less than 350 degrees centigrade, less than 400 degrees centigrade. So this particular apparatus is used only for the atmospheric condition. Initially what you have learned, that is the TBP. That apparatus we can use it for vacuum. Under vacuum also you can operate that particular apparatus, TBP, true boiling point distillation. This is only the difference in ASTM and TBP. We are learning this particular ASTM TBP distillation apparatus to collect the data. How we are going to collect the data? And this only simple data, that is the volume collected against the temperature. How it can be useful to design a huge petroleum distillation column. We called it as ADU and VDU, atmospheric distillation unit and vacuum distillation unit. So that huge distillation column we are going to design by way of only this temperature as well as the volume percent distilled. This particular apparatus consists of distillation cloth, the way I have told you, condenser and associated cooling bath, metal shield. So that associated cooling bath, which consists of the condenser, that is the condenser tube. That I have forgotten to tell, that condenser tube is made up of brass. Means sometimes the manufacturer, they used to give us a stainless steel in place of the brass. So you can reject it, because depending upon the conductivity, the ASTM suggested that you can use only the brass condenser tube, which you are going to pass your vapors. Metal shield, heat source, flash support, temperature measuring device, that is the thermometers, receiving cylinders to collect the sample, to measure the sample. This is the dimension of the flask. This is the height. Whenever vapors comes, immediately it enters into the brass condenser tube. This is for 100 ml, 125 ml. They suggested that if you are having a sample of the petrol, you can use 100 ml. If you are having a sample of diesel, you can use 125. As suggested by the ASTM, you have to perform the process. Then also they have suggested the initial first drop should become within a 5 minutes. Then another 10 ml you are going to collect in whatever the rates they have suggested. So when you are going to perform the experiment, so that time the idea will be more clear. This is a simple procedure I have explained here. Sample volume 100 ml is taken in the distillation flask. This varies depending upon the what type of sample you are going to take it. For petrol it is quantity 100, for diesel it is 125 ml. Flask shall be heated in a regulated rates. Regulator is given to provide the rates to maintain the rate, that is with the help of thermostat. That the rate of condensation is 5 cc per minute is maintained. Is 5 ml per minute you have to maintain. With that one you have to regulate that one with the help of the dimmer. Thermometer reading shall be noted as IBP. I told you that IBP, suppose the boiling range of the petrol is 37 to 140. 37 is the initial boiling point, 140 is the final boiling point. When first drops comes, that is called as the IBP, initial boiling point. Temperature is to be recorded at various percent distillate at an interval of 10%. Means 10 ml you have collected, note down the temperature, 20 ml, note down the temperature. So volume percent distill against temperature, that we are going to plot it. Thermometer reading shall be noted as FBP, means final boiling point. The petrol it is 140, I have told you. So final boiling point you have noted down. when the temperature starts decreasing. This point is very, very important. Here we have to stop your ASTM distillation. When the temperature starts decreasing after reaching its maximum value, once it reaches the maximum value, final boiling point, suddenly temperature drops. That time you have to be more careful, that note down that immediately that temperature, because you have to take care of that on final boiling point, because that decides the purity of the sample. If any dilution is there, so that you can identify it. It is a pure sample, or the addition of the 10% ethanol or addition of the 15% ethanol, that you also you can identify, because we don't know how much percent of ethanol is. Now we are going to get the petrol with the blend of the ethanol, but how much percent of ethanol is blended, that also you can identify with this, with the help of this particular simple reading, that is IBP and FBP. After the flask gets cooled, after performing this experiment, you have to cool that particular apparatus to measure the how much volume is remaining. Volume of remaining liquid is measured and noted as recovery, which decide the losses. Suppose you have collected the 95% as FBP, 95%, and the temperature you have noted down. So remaining 100 ml you have taken it. So how much volume is available here? 5 ml sample. But when you are going to measure that sample, you recorded that only the 3 ml sample is available. Then what about the 2 ml, what's remaining? So that we consider as the losses. So I told you that you have to avoid the losses. In general, we say that is only the 2%. But if you are going to consider industry-wise, that 2% is the biggest loss. So that also we have to control, and we have to nullify that 2% also. And we require only the 5 ml here. How to get that 5 ml level? By avoiding the losses. So that precaution you have to take in performing this particular ASTM distillation. Significance and use. Distillation, that is the volatility characteristic of hydrocarbons, have an important effect on their safety and performance, especially in the case of fuels and solvent. The boiling range gives information on the composition, the properties, and the behavior of the fuel during storage and use. Volatility is the major determinant of the tendency of a hydrocarbon mixture to produce potentially explosive vapors. Distillation limits are often included in petroleum product specifications, in commercial contract agreements, process refinery applications, and for compliance to the regulatory rules. Another operation is the equilibrium flash operation. This is the third distillation apparatus used. In this equilibrium flash operation, in short, we can call it as EFV. The name itself gives the procedure how you are going to perform the experiment. In flash, in general, we say that flash means equilibrium flash vaporization. Flash distillation, specified amount of liquid sample is placed in a coil. This is important. Specified amount of liquid sample is placed in a coil and heated up to a certain temperature. The vapor liquid mixture is kept for time enough to bring vapor in equilibrium with the liquid. The pressure would be that corresponding to vapor pressure at that temperature. After reaching equilibrium, vapors are quickly removed. After reaching equilibrium, vapors are quickly removed and condensed to find out amount of liquid distilled, separated at that temperature. The experiment is repeated at several temperatures and the data are collected to plot the distillation curve. Here pressure is not constant. The distillation curve so obtained is known as equilibrium flash vaporization curve. Some of the points are very, very important. We require the temperature and volume collected. Here they suggested that you have to take some amount of specified amount of the liquid sample, heat it at certain temperature. Immediately when the vapor is in the equilibrium with the liquid, just release the pressure and collect the sample, how much quantity you have collected at the respective temperature. We require only that much data. This is a very tedious method, equilibrium flash vaporization, compared to TBP, compared to ASTM. In short, this particular diagram explains you. At the center we have shown the flash, this is the flash drum, At the center, we have suggested this is the liquid, this is the vapor. Let's say that the equilibrium reach. When the equilibrium reach, this is the coil, that particular quantity you are going to heat it at respect to temperature. Immediately pressure release after equilibrium reach, and vapors are collected, liquids are collected. How much quantity liquid collected? Note down the temperature, because we required only the volume percent distill, again the temperature. But very dangerous method. Equilibrium reach, then again you are going to release the pressure. You have to take more care here when you are going to release the pressure. Anything operated with the pressure is dangerous. You have to take every time the care in performing the experiments. The explanation of this EFP is distillation carried out at constant rate of heating. EFP involves heating of feed and the separation of liquid and vapor in the flash column. While in continuous fractionating system such as TBP, true boiling point, always a contact between vapor and liquid exists. In EFP, vapor is kept cohesively with liquid or same temperature, and the sudden release of pressure quickly flash the vapor from the mixture without any rectification. We don't have the rectification here. As we are having the rectification in the TBP, we don't have rectification in ASTM also. Similarly, here also we are not having the rectification, but we are waiting for the till it is equilibrium. By successive flash vaporization, because fixed quantity you are going to heat it in the coil, so that's why they named it as successive. The temperature is going to change by successive flash evaporation. Like this stock can be progressively distilled at different increasing temperatures. The tube length in heater is directly proportional to the time required to attain equilibrium. No mass transfer occurs during heating, hence separation efficiency is increased. Mass transfer happens in the TBP because you are having a long pack column. A distillation curve may be obtained by conducting this distillation at varying heater outlet temperatures. Experimentally, this type of distillation may not be suggested as interconversion from one type of distillation to others, always available.